welcome to Gifted Guitars. Today we are continuing our work on a chicken guitar for my mother. She really likes chickens, so obviously I'm gonna make her a miniature electric guitar shaped like one. And if you missed last week's video, I explained at the end of it that I'm going to immortalize a joke. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. By the way, if you did miss last week's episode, go back and rewatch the whole season, the whole series on the chicken guitar, because it's quite a journey. It's a lot of fun. I'm sure you'll enjoy all of the videos, but let's get to the point at hand. A few years back, my family took a trip to Rome and we went on these amazing tours by Live Italy. Check them out if you get a chance. Very, very cool tours. I'll put a link to the videos of us going to this particular part of Rome. We went to this area called the Piazza Novana, and I'm gonna mispronounce all of the names of the places in this, so you can make fun of my American accent down in the comments, that's fine with me. I will not take offense. Anyway, there was an artist named Bernini who designed this fountain in the middle of the piazza, and there was another artist by the name of Borromini who was building the facade for one of the churches that would be facing this fountain. And they kind of had a feud. And so both artists put into their pieces of art, their works of art, this beautiful fountain, this beautiful facade, jokes, little jabs at one another. Borromini put one of the statues kind of looking away like, oh, I can't even look at that ugly fountain in the middle of the piazza. And one of the statues depicting in human form the rivers, the four great rivers, called the Rio de la Plata, is looking like, it's gonna fall on me, this facade is gonna fall on me. And so fixed in stone are these two jokes that these artists played towards each other, and I loved that. I thought it's really fun that these fine pieces of art contained jokes within them. And so, although the chicken guitar is not a great piece of art, it is something that I'm handcrafting and making, and I just thought a fun little joke in there would be good. Or a couple little jokes. Some dad jokes. Originally this guitar came with this body and this neck. I'm fully replacing the body, and I wasn't really gonna do anything with the neck. Sometimes they carve cool things into the headstock on these guitars. I was just gonna leave it the way it was and maybe sign it, and that would be that. But then I got to thinking, how often am I going to be making a guitar that is so ripe with pun possibilities? So I thought, okay, what is a funny name that I could give this guitar? I thought of the Gibbs hen, Les Poultry, but the problem with that is this is not anywhere near a Les Paul, a Gibson guitar at all. This headstock's all wrong for that. This looks much more like a Fender. So we're gonna call it a Fender, and we're gonna call it the Telecluster because that's funny. So what I'm going to do is shape this like a Telecaster's headstock and put the Fender logo on here, but change it to Fender, hen, because that's a joke, and then Telecluster on here. So it'll be a funny thing for anyone that goes to visit my mom that's also into dad jokes, that also is into guitar. So basically, just for me. It's just for me. This is close, but this is more the shape we're going for. And I don't think I have enough material up here to really make it happen. So it's gonna be just sort of an approximation. Basically just gonna smooth this part out and round this part out to get us kind of close to there. Something like that. Typically I try and avoid copying another headstock shape, but this is all for the sake of the joke, so I think it's okay. Instead of using a saw, I decided to use this little mini belt sander that I have, that I wish I had in previous guitar builds because it would have come in very handy, but it did a pretty good job getting rid of the bulk of the material. Now I'm gonna go in by hand and hand sand it so that it gets nice and feels good, because right now it's pretty rough. Another thing I thought would be hilarious is to replace the volume knob on this guitar with an egg. So I have to figure out how to make this fit onto this electronic thing so that it can be turned and change the volume of the guitar. Let's do it. All right, experiment one is to drill a hole in the egg that fits this thing, and that's not working. This was sort of an optimistic sort of thing. If this had worked, it would have been really, oh, but I don't think it's gonna work. I have a few backup ideas on how to do this, but the easiest way of doing it would be to drill a hole the same size in diameter as the potentiometer, which is this piece here. The next step is to drill a slightly bigger hole and see how that does. All right, I went with a slightly larger hole and it fits on there now, but the problem is that it fits on there too easily. Like, I don't think turning the egg is gonna turn the mechanism. So this egg here is still the closest in terms of fitting. So I'm gonna hold on to this one, but I'm also going to try an experiment where I cut this apart and embed it into one of the eggs. All right, I guess that's how it's done. If you ever need to make a volume knob out of a wooden egg, that's how you do it. Now that I have the shape that I want, I'm going to work on making like a decal to put right here that's gonna say Hender Telecluster. I designed this in Photoshop as a PNG file, and as I was doing it, I was showing it to Jessica, and she was like, I think it's better if it says Hender instead of Fahender. So I think she's right. And I like the logo that we came up with, so that's what I'm going with. And I'm gonna use her Cricut cutter to do the design. I did this with Rachel's guitar. If you missed that episode, I'll put a link somewhere. But this was really useful then, and I think it's gonna be really useful now to get that exact look. And yeah, so let's jump right into that. So looking at this, I think 5 inches is gonna be the maximum that I'm gonna be able to get away with here. And let's see, the height of it is gonna be around 1 inch. Here's the design I ended up with, and we're going down to try and get the width to be 7. Let's see, the width right now is 7, and we want it to be 5. So we're just gonna bring it down to 5. Hopefully that will cut out just fine. That looks good. So I'm gonna put this piece of black vinyl on here, and what this machine will do is cut out the design that I have in the computer. It's kind of hard to see, on camera here, but it is cut out in here, and now I'm gonna cut this little piece out of the vinyl and put it on transfer paper so I can put it on the actual guitar neck. I think it looks pretty good. Looks very professional. That looks awesome. That is so cool. It looks just like the decal on the Fender Telecaster, but it says Hender Telecluster. It's a joke, and I love it. This is so, this looks so good. This looks exactly like the real thing. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna spray this with some guitar lacquer just to sort of lock it in, and then I'll be done with this part of the guitar. That's so cool. I love it. All right, that's gonna do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. It's fun to put a couple little jokes into a guitar, and it's nice that this guitar lends itself to that. Anyway, next week is gonna be super exciting because I will be completing the guitar. You'll get to see me do the electronics, string it up, put the finishing touches on it, and actually play the guitar and see if it works. I'm excited about it. Make sure you're up to date on these videos by subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Write something nice in the comment section. I read the comment section to all of these videos, so if you say it, be nice, because I will read it. I'm gonna see what you have to say. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I will see you next week.